Black Gems. We're back. Just watched a powerful movie called The Piano Lesson if you've never heard of it, which I never did until my wife put me on. But it gave me a bit of perspective. Just thinking about the power of God, just thinking about ancestry, just thinking about black history. And their family in that movie was deeply rooted in family history and the traumas and the pains. Anyways, I ain't gonna ruin it for you, but um, it made me think about why I started Black Gems and why is this important to me? Why is it so important? Why is it core and center to things that I do? Um, I remember, uh, just not knowing anything about myself, black people themselves. I remember somebody asked me the question like, "You ever seen the movie Malcolm?" And I couldn't say anything, because I didn't know anything other than what everybody else know, that he was the opposite of Martin. But I didn't know a lot about him. And then when I watched the movie, it was so much about him that people they don't teach. That they don't talk about. And it's a lot of lessons that could be learned within Malcolm. I feel like a lot of times I am like Malcolm, not the Malcolm everybody knew about, but the angrier version of Malcolm, right? Where he was uh, country red, but first starting off and get it as you get to know and do things for your people and learn about your people, learn about yourself, you're angry. You don't have a lot of grace and empathy. And I feel like it's kind of how I've been moving around a lot lately. Because you want to do something about your situation. And what I realized when I learned about Malcolm was there is something that we could do about black folks' situation if you just knew a little bit more than what you do now about yourself, about where you come from, about your family, about how did you get here, and what can you do to get out of this situation that you don't want to be in. That's why I started Black Gems. And learning more about black history and about black culture, about people that came before was instructive. It gave perspective, a foundation. And maybe it's even the trauma coming out of me of, when your father not there, you don't get for your mother can tell you a lot of things. I think a lot of stuff I take out on my mom, but you still need the other piece of that. Anyways, um, but foundation is what it gave me in perspective, and to see the pitfalls of our people, to see the successes of our people, um, to do the damage, to see the damage that can be done when you don't know about yourself and about the things that came before. I started Black Gems because I knew that information and education was the key to being able to do something better about your situation. And since then, things have gotten better. I definitely get paid more money because I have more self worth, more self value, more confidence. I don't just sit by and let things happen. Do something about them. Hold people accountable, hold myself accountable, see patterns. Black Gems was never about kind of calling out all the bad things about black folks. It was about encouraging black folks to do something about their lives, to empower folks, to help them out in the time of need, to be instructive. The Bible done got us far. It's the only well, I don't want to say the Bible, but God is the only reason why we still alive today. Because there's no way in the world we should have survived or would have survived without him. However, if we don't know what our ancestors tapped into to get us this far, we're going to be stuck here. And I don't know if folks looked around, but I see a lot of death. I see a lot of sadness. I see a lot of happiness, but I see a lot of that overshadowed by the misery. And for all the great things, the 6 good days of the week, I know it's something we can do about that one bad day. That one bad person in your family, that one bad person that live on your block, the one bad person or the one bad thing about black culture, about black people. I know it's something we can do about that, right? And y'all know what I'm talking about, the one something, because it's a lot of one somethings. We the one group in education that ain't doing so well. The one group that ain't running their business the way it needs to be ran in some areas. You know, it's always just that one thing. Black Gems was about not calling them to shame or calling us to shame, but to say that, hey, some of this is not your fault. Some of it was strategically placed here to keep you down, systematically, by others. Some of it was done to help get you out of it. Somebody gave you something, some help to get you the business, the family, resources, the aid. So what I see Black Gems doing is providing aid, being instructive. If you know where you came from, then you have a good idea of where you've been and where you should be going moving forward. Black Gems is about encouragement. It was about helping. It was about using education and knowledge to help you get the other resources that you needed, with education at the foundation. With the fact that if you know better, then you'll do better. And the fact is, no, I didn't know better. And a lot of things that happen to me is because shit, you just don't know. And with black being the center of it, black people have a unique experience that others just don't have. Black folks mad at a lot of brown folks right now for the elections. They should be. But then again, they shouldn't be. It is what it is. Here's what I know about black and brown folks. We've been down, for a long time in some areas. Not by chance, not by random, but placed in that situation. Here's what I tell you about black folks. And why I stick to and talk about and specify black folks. One, because I'm not brown and I don't know their struggle, so I can't speak on it. But I tell you this: only other group I know who've been through some of the same stuff that we've been through is the Jews. The Holocaust, we have never seen an abomination like the sort that happened to those folks. You know what other group that type of abomination happened to that we know of? That's black people. Talking slavery. So when people say you should move on and you should forget about it, nah. Your ancestors dealt with slavery and survived through the grace of God so that your black tail can be here. And our black tails need to tell everybody else in the world, don't forget this. Never forget. And it's funny because, like 9/11 happened every year and they put out stuff to say, don't forget, never forget. We need that same energy when we're talking about 1865. Never forget. I'm sorry. When Black History Month come, never forget. So this ain't a competition of the struggle, but in America, I don't know two other groups that's endured the type of hardships that those two groups have. So when I talk about black folks, it's because we done been through some stuff. And some of that's still carrying over to today. So if we don't learn what happened back then and it's still prevalent today in a new modernized, reformed version of it, then how the hell are we gonna fight against it? Started Black Gems to fight against that. To fight against why you can't keep your doors unlocked in your neighborhoods. Can't keep your bike outside no more. Your kids to walk to the corner store no more. Why is your neighborhoods not safe no more? Why are you scared to drive on the street at certain times at night because people driving a little crazier than they used to? Why is that happening? Talk about why it just seemed like it's just not enough scholarship money for some of the best black colleges in the United States of America that produce the smartest and brightest of us. Why is there not enough money? So Black Gems wants to talk about that. We want to talk about the why, like how do we get here? And maybe we can predict how do we get to a better place. And regardless, because black people is great, we're going to get to a better place even if we don't know. But through information, through togetherness, I think we can get there a little faster. That movie inspired me in a lot of ways. Whether the world hear this or it's just me just talking, because I didn't write this down to prep it, which you should really do if you ever get into media, which is not my strength. But just help bring perspective about, the power of your ancestors and how we should never forget them. We need to teach every single generation of black folks about who we are and where we need to go and their great things that they did and the things they wish they could have did if they had some of the opportunities and technology and resources that we do today. So I need to do what I need to do, which is get Black Gems off the ground and get it into the form that it needs to be in. And just remember the true essence that if nobody listened to Black Gems or listened to me, it was about helping me. It was about helping to realize that I'm black, and that I am strong, and that I am confident, and that I am smart, that I am all of these things I have control over my life. It was about learning the goods and the bads of the people that came before us and using it to be instructive to tell us what we need to do in the future. If they say history repeat itself, well, I guess we better learn the history. It's also about being empathetic too. People got to be ready to hear the information. If ain't nobody getting the information, then you can't expect people to actually notice. You can't expect people to actually get it. You can't expect people to actually approve of this, buy into it, listen to it, support it. So, moving forward as we go into the 2025 year, Black Gems will be getting back into the essence of why it was created in the first place. It was a self-help for black folks like me, black folks like other black folks who could use the help. It's not to shun or punish, it's to encourage, to inspire, to guide, to be a light. To be light, to be inspirational, aspirational. So I'm looking forward to the next round of Black Gems leaving 24 into 25. Hopefully we can leave the angry Malcolm behind and get a little bit of Malcolm and Martin, which they don't talk about how much they were similar and alike. So anyways, but Black Gems, I'm out.